Now, something else I noticed the other day when I was just playing, if you just want to test one area like that, just grab some distress ink. This one happens to be black soot. And just ink up that spot. And varnish it. It's kind of like a print Baron. B-A-R-E-N. Ooh, that was a good idea. Oh well. These are the wood ones from the other day. It was here handy, so like Tracy Batista says, just pick up whatever's on your desk and use it. You don't need fancy toys. Alright, we lost the R a little bit, but you know what? It's fine. Alright, let's get this out of the way. And let's ink this pup. I'm going to use, I'm just going to go ahead and use this black soot. Here's the back of a piece of construction paper I worked on the other day. That'll work. Now the only reason I think you can get by with using something like construction paper is that you can play off the colors of the paper with your inks. Make all your marks that you're going to make, and pull your prints and mix your inks and do all you're going to do to it, make your marks, and then take a picture of it. And then that image becomes your own for your digital library of things that you can print and use again. Does that make sense? So you're building a library of patterns and prints that you've created. I'm putting moderate pressure on here. Paper is on top of the plate, or the stamp, it's the same thing in my world. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we got. Pretty good. Alright, now, we're picking up this edge right here as an outline, which I don't like. So that's something I know I don't like. Pull this back. Get the blade. Wait, we can use the big one for that. I don't think there's any way I can help y'all see that. Okay, but I know it's around this edge. So if I come around this edge, I think this blade digs a little differently. And this stuff does feel a little bit firmer today. I've been told that you can heat real linoleum and it cuts easier. This is vinyl, it's not real linoleum. Voila! It is easier. So remember that. You can heat it just a little bit and it makes it easier to carve. You might want to be careful it doesn't make it too easy. But I've seen some people trim their stamps right up to the outline, which would be great if you screw up what I'm doing right now. And the ink's there from the marks that were inked, so you know exactly what to cut off. And this blade cuts different than the other one. And they're all new, so they're not dull unless they came that way. Or unless age caused it, because I'm notorious for buying supplies and putting them up until that day that I'm ready to work on it. And when I am, then I have to find it. If all the art stores in the world went out of business tomorrow, I could still keep doing everything I do. Because Lord knows I've got enough supplies backed up. And I'm probably getting this ink all over my shirt. Alright. We have some around here. Look at that. Glory, glory, glory. Alright, pull the shirt sleeve up. Let's see if we can get rid of some of this stuff on the edge. If y'all want to read a good book on stamp carving, Julie Bowser has one with cloth, paper, scissors called Play, Stamp, Carve, something like that. Okay, we've got quite a bit down here on this edge. And she actually takes a utility knife and cuts it right up to the edge. And I guess you can if it's small. I think the thing you would want to be aware of is that you don't want it to be too floppy on something this size. I'm just going to come right back. It looks like this edge printed just about all the way around. Okay, this is that. We've got the same issue all the way around. Now remember, these marks are organic, and in the woodcuts of the 14th century and the 15th century and all that, a lot of times they planned these marks to be a part of the artwork. So you don't have to have it perfectly clean. And I'm not going to address any of the middle marks right now. I'm just going to focus on these edge marks. So I'm over here. This one looks fairly good. That would be over there. Right here is not. I see a few right there. I want to design one that does have a border. Look more like a traditional lino cut or wood block. Okay, we're pretty good up in there. Yuck. Anyway. Okay, here we go again. I'm just gonna go right. Hey, let's do now. We're checking it. Let's be good. Let's put this. No, we had it right the first time. We're gonna get some overlap, but that's okay. I wonder if a brayer might help. And when you're using these in a design, you really don't care if you get the whole thing or not. But since I'm testing it, I want to check it out. Doesn't look like I got as much ink as I did the first time. Let me go back to this block. Hold it real tight because you sure don't want your paper to slip. Although if you do, you might get a nice double image, and there you go. That's an oops. Alright. Okay, that time we picked up a lot on this straight edge that we didn't pick up the first time. And a lot of that has to do with the way you burnish on the edge. So I'm going to come back in here and cut just a bit of that. Press and seal doesn't like heat. Ah, yeah, that's much better. So, yes, the gray lino vinyl from Jack Richardson is harder than the pink stuff, and definitely harder than being very judicious here. What I want to take out and what I want to leave. And nothing says you can't use it for a while and then come back in and trim it up. Okay, so I've got some more right here. Got quite a few marks going on. And down by the stem, there's quite a few competing with the stem, so I think I'm going to take some of that out. Alright, now, we're looking at a reverse image. Instinctively, I like to have the light coming in from my left. So when it prints, it's going to be coming in from my right, so that these are going to have the light on this side. Got that? If I want it to print with the light coming from the left, I have to carve so the light's coming in from here. There you go. There's the light. If the light's coming in from here, I'm going to need more sunlight areas coming down from the top. If the light's coming from here, see the shadow? Then I'm going to pick up more along the sides, and that one would be from the top, and that one would be from right there. So you've always got to, well, you don't always got to do nothing, because it really doesn't matter. But if you want to get technical, pay attention to where your light's coming from. And I think I'm going to it's going to be right here about 2 o'clock. Now let's see how long I remember that. So if it's at 2 o'clock up here, then I'm going to have more light hitting right in here. And I am still using the big blade, which is fine. And then I can come back in with the smaller blade. I've had other people say that the number 1 and the number 5 is what they use the most. And you can buy separate handles and blades. So you might want to invest in just a couple of, or one even, extra handle. Okay, so my light's coming from here. So it's going to come down here. It's going to create just a little bit of a dimension. And no one that's looking at it will ever know that that was a decision that was made on purpose. Okay, we're going to have some light hitting here because if we're at 2 o'clock, we're going to be picking up some light on this edge. And we might pick up just a little bit here, just a little divot. So we got light. We might pick up a little right here, so let's take out a little bit more of that. 2 o'clock, we're going to be hitting about right here. Remember to carve with the direction of the grain in the flower, because the sunlight's going to hit across that form. Now, if this one is in the shadow of this one, it would receive some right here as it shines under that leaf and just hits that edge. And you might hit just a little bit right there. So we're going to pretend we're just going to put a little divot right there for variety. A little bit right there. And this one would hit right about there. There's a divot. Divot. I'm going to put just one more right here. Okay. I'm going to switch back to this one. I'm going to pick a few veins to enhance just a little. It's fairly even all through here. I'm going back to my original leaf. And these weren't as rippled when I picked them when they were new. Let me see if I can find one. I don't even think I can pull a print from these now. They're so dry. See, that's a good one. See how that ripple is? So I think I'm just going to come back in here and do a few, just strengthen a few of these middle ones. Maybe this one. Alright. This stem would have some light because it is behind this flower, which you can't really tell because what are we doing in the middle? Stem, middle, and early. Those lines, if they were just a little bit deeper, might print better. Now if it becomes real hard to push, it means you're down too deep, you're at too steep an angle, and you want to pull off of that. Alright, we got that edge. Again, the reason you cut into these shapes is to avoid picking this up, because if you're rubbing here to get this and your instrument goes over here, it's going to pick up that because the paper is going to fold right there, bend. And that is why they trim real tight around these edges, because then you don't pick any up. I'm going to leave it for now, and let's try this oregano. I used it the other day, and I'm going to have another piece of paper. Aha! Piece of deli paper. I don't need this. And I guess you could, see, I can tell I'm picking up oregano over here. You can go in there and wipe some of that. Then you don't have the issue. Alright, I'm just going to lay that right on top. I'm not going to unfold it. Fingers. I think it's bleeding through, so you can kind of see what you're getting. Let's open it up and see. Ah. Deli paper is a wonderful invention. just for the crafters. Didn't have anything to do with sandwiches. It was developed in 1700 by a lady who liked to sit around and do crafts by the fire. And then some sandwich guy picked it up and started using it to wrap his sandwiches with. Alright, let's see what we got. Pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to declare victory on that one for today. Alright.